Author's House.
Hi everyone, today is September 9th, 2021, and my name is Nicole Richardson from Authors Press. Today I'm here with Barbara Brink, author of Miss Claus and Her Bunnies. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, Barbara?
Thank you, Nicole. I'm Barbara Brink. I have been with Authors Press for almost 2 years now. I have 6 books with Authors Press. But my real history is I am a science teacher of 49 years. So 49 years, 10 of that in the classroom and 39 years as a science administrator at central office. So, but now I'm retired and I'm enjoying writing. And in my time in retirement, I have published 6 books with Authors Press.
6 books is a lot in retirement. Can you tell us a little bit about your book, please?
This sweet, sweet book is Miss Claus and Her Bunnies. So what everybody knows that there is magic in the North Pole. There's Santa, there's elves, and there are reindeer. But what you didn't know, and I know and put in my book, is Miss Claus, the youngest daughter of Santa Claus, manages all the bunnies that work at the North Pole. So in addition to elves and reindeer and Santa, there are bunnies doing magic at the North Pole. Who knew?
That's so cute. I'm sure a bunch of little kids are very, very excited to find out about the working bunnies.
Yes, they're working bunnies. And Miss Elizabeth she takes on a lot of responsibility to make sure that the bunnies get the correct work assignment and that they have great satisfaction with their jobs.
What inspired you to write this book?
Well, Nicole, I have to show you. Because it's pretty amazing. So I'm gonna put it up to my camera and let you see what inspired me. So look at this picture. This is amazing. Here, let me show you. This is my husband, and he loves his bunny pajamas. Don't ask me why. He's a grown adult man, but he loves his bunny pajamas. And so Christmas 2020, he picked up our granddaughter, and guess what her name is? Elizabeth. And she is wearing her Santa pajamas. So Miss Claus and Her Bunnies. Miss Claus and Her Bunnies.
That's
oh my
so
gosh.
Precious.
This one picture inspired this book. Unbelievable.
Precious. You said, is that your daughter you said?
Daughter-in-law.
Daughter-in-law. How old is she? If you don't mind me asking.
Granddaughter.
How old is your granddaughter, if you don't mind me asking?
In that picture, she's 1 year old. She's 1 year old in that picture. And now she's 2 because Authors Press was able to get my book out I wrote it after Christmas 2020, and they got it to production in August 2021. Unbelievable. So she's 2.
Wow, that's so cute. I love babies. What can readers learn from your book?
I want you to know I wrote it as pure fantasy, but I was so happy with the U.S. Review of Books because they were able to read my book and see a greater meaning. And this answers your question, what can people learn from the book? So first of all, our heroine is a girl, and we like girls to be the figure of our books. But then the bunnies are all different. And if you look at real rabbits in nature, there are different breeds, species of rabbits. So different species have different behaviors, different environments. So what happens in Miss Claus and Her Bunnies, Elizabeth, our heroine, looks at each bunny and decides that bunny's strengths and assigns that bunny to work. And she, Elizabeth, assigns the bunny to their greatest strength. So we have bunnies who take on responsibility for their characteristics as bunnies. So look at this. The Angora bunnies, test the plush of the plush toys. So they touch the plush of the stuffed toys. So in my book, bunnies are assigned to their work according to their strengths, their personalities, and their strengths. So we have that people can gain from the book. Another thing we can gain from the book is diversity, because I've already told you that bunnies have different characteristics. And Elizabeth is able to say, well, you should work in the kitchen, and you should work with Santa, and you should work with the stuffed animals, and you should work at NORAD. So she assigns the bunnies based on their strengths, which therefore utilizes the bunny's diversity. Having that said, then we talk about the fact that all the bunnies are included, and that's called inclusion. So even though I have a strength over here, I may not work over here. I may need to use my strength over here. And all of us have different strengths, so we work together, and that's called inclusion. And everybody works together, that's called teamwork. We learn that from the book. And the other thing we learn from the book is satisfaction in their jobs. They've been assigned a job that they're good at, and so they do the best job available, and everybody works for a common goal, which is to get Santa in that sleigh Christmas Eve. I don't know. It sounds a lot for a bunch of bunnies, but they managed to pull it off. I'm just saying.
You know what? Well, Santa's reindeer pull him all over the world, so they've got to do a lot of work. They got to keep up.
Nicole, I'm telling you, and Santa's busy, so he relies on the elves, the reindeer, and the bunnies to do a lot of the work. He can't do it all, so he relies on all this magic at the North Pole, including the bunnies. So look at this. This is really, really cute in my book, and this is where we talk about diversity. And look at this, honey. It says, don't laugh or tease, but Santa's suit can be a tight squeeze. Well, why is Santa's, well, if we all know that Santa is a big guy. So Elizabeth uses the Fleming hares. These are giant rabbits. These are giant rabbits, mostly out of Great Britain, and so they try on Santa's suit to make sure it fits. But then you were talking about getting Santa in the sleigh and the reindeer having to get that sleigh up in the air. So look what happens there. Elizabeth asks the Flemish giants to sit in the driver's seat we're waiting on Santa. We're not asking Santa to sit in the driver's seat. We're asking the Flemish giants to sit in the driver's seat and make sure that this sleigh is loaded correctly so that the reindeer and Santa, ultimately this little rabbit will move and Santa will get in the driver's seat and the reindeer will be able to get Santa in the air. Yes.
Every rabbit has their job. Every rabbit has a point, purpose, and place.
I love you for saying that. That's so cute. Yes, it is. And look at this. All right, so in the deserts of the United States, we have the jackrabbits, and you know jackrabbits. They're called hares, Hare. So hares have really long ears, and they work at NORAD so that once Santa is airborne, Nicole, think about this. There are a lot of airplanes flying in our airspace. And now we've got a tiny
and
sled.
so NORAD has to keep Santa safe.
Yes, yes. And what I want the children to do is pay attention to the weather channels on Christmas Eve. The meteorologist will say to the listeners, oh my gosh, we have seen Santa over Greenland. We have seen Santa over Canada.
Yes, they have a whole app for that.
Yes, you watch for that. It's so cute. NORAD has a whole different purpose. It is a real thing, and it has a whole different purpose. But years ago, NORAD in America said, you know what? We've got Santa out there every Christmas Eve, and he needs help. So NORAD tracks Santa, and it's called the NORAD Santa Tracker. But Elizabeth assigns the giant hares because they have these giant ears. They're the best hearing rabbits, and they work at NORAD and help Santa have safe flight.
That's so cool. Like I said earlier, every rabbit has their point, purpose, and place.
Exactly. And they work all year. You think Christmas Eve, bam, the magic happens. No. Santa, the elves, they're working all year because they have to make enough toys for the entire world. Now, Santa delivers them on Christmas Eve. So what my book starts with is there's a whole year here, and we have to take care of everybody at the North Pole for an entire year. So what happens is, just like in your workplace, Nicole, there are birthday parties, there's, and of course these are rabbits, so the mommies who are having the babies, they get baby showers. So this is Elizabeth, and she plans the birthday parties and the baby showers for all her rabbits all year long. But it's the work. This is the parties. This is social, and we know that being social and having enjoyment with our fellow workers, that's important for our mental health. And then they're ready to do the work of whichever bunny is assigned to which department in the North Pole.
That's so cute. My next question is, what is your favorite part of this book and why?
Well, my favorite part is that our heroine is a girl. We love that. She's actually a child of Mr. and Mrs. Claus. Mr. and Mrs. Claus have a lot of children. That's unbeknownst to most people. Most people think the elves are Mr. and Mrs. Claus' children. Well, that's not true. Elves are their own separate little magical creatures. But Miss Claus and Santa Claus do have children. So I'm talking about one of their children, happens to be their youngest, happens to be Elizabeth. And I love that part about the book. So we have a young girl heroine and she has a great deal of responsibility. As you can imagine, in the North Pole, you got a lot of rabbits, you got a lot of bunnies, and she takes up that responsibility very seriously and does her job very well. I love that part of the book. And then the other part, Nicole, I love is that who doesn't love bunnies? Bunnies are the sweetest things in the whole world. I name one little girl who has not had a pet bunny at some point in her life. And everybody has a stuffed bunny. So children can relate to rabbits. Rabbits are gentle. They're very docile. They're they're herbivores. So they're very in your home. They make good pets. They're very smart. You can train them you can potty train them. They're very smart. And anyways, I like Elizabeth, our heroine, and I like the fact that they're bunnies who are so sweet.
Bunnies are sweet. I like bunnies a lot. I had a bunny when I was a young girl.
I did too.
When did you first start writing?
I have to tell you that I had a very good education, elementary, middle school, and high school. I had a very good education, and we were always encouraged to write. And then as a science educator, Nicole, let me tell you something. This may have been part of your generation, but as a science educator, we advocate for journaling. Every child needs to be journaling. Every child needs to be writing. They need to be writing down their thoughts, writing down their conclusions to an investigation in the science classroom. And I have always been a writer. I still have some of the papers that I wrote as a young girl. I don't know why I kept them. They were flat and they could travel, and I packed them away, and now I still have them. So I've always been a writer. But the truth of the matter is I've only been publishing books for the last 3 years. That's very different. Please write. You get so many ideas, and it's so satisfying. It's a wonderful thing to do, to write. But publishing is, I get a lot of help from Authors Press, and they like my ideas. They like my creativity. I wouldn't have any creativity if I didn't put my thoughts down on paper. So I've always been a writer. And in my book, I say this, all my books conclude with author's notes and, I'm sorry, it doesn't show, engaging with the text. Engaging with the text. So I want the reader to read my book, but then what can they do with my book? Well, they can illustrate it. They can write a chapter. They can, what does your pet do similar to what the bunnies are doing? Does your pet do a trick or something? The reader can engage with the text, and that way the reader gets more out of the text. But at the end of all my books, and I put this, Nicole, at the end of all my books, I say, my challenge to you is to continue to read, write, illustrate. Remember, a book and your journal are tangible and printed media, an inseparable instrument to the human being, and a wonderful door to imagination and knowledge. So if we record our ideas, then we go back and we go, you know what? I could make this into a poem, or I could make this into a little book that I give my mother for Christmas. Yes.
It sounds like you really put your readers first when you're writing.
Well, thank you for that. I really do. I think there's a lot of value to the fact that I was a science teacher for so long. I really value the learner in the classroom. I value their curiosity. And being a science teacher, it was so fun because we were putting things together and discovering. And I want my readers to discover something in the book. I want them to find fun and discovery and maybe learn something from our book. We've already talked about it. They could learn responsibility. They could learn diversity, inclusion. So yes, I put my readers first, and you are so dear to say that. I'm flattered that you would say that.
It's just an observation that I made. I just have a couple more questions for you before we wrap this up. Do you have a specific ritual when you write, or a specific step-by-step process you follow?
We need to, yes, I think about this because I know authors do. That has to be this pencil and it has to be this piece of paper no. What I follow is this: when you get an idea, jot it down. Have your journal. Girls carry purses. Okay, so have a little piece of paper in your purse, a little notebook in your purse where you can jot down your ideas as they come to you, because tomorrow you're gonna, what was that? I forget. So don't think that you're gonna remember over time that spark that came yesterday. You're not gonna remember it. So write down everything, even if it's not even a complete thought. I advocate journaling and illustrating. If you see something you like, sketch it out. It doesn't even matter if anybody else can recognize what it is. You know what it is. And then you can build on that. I don't like the interruption of television or music. I'm sorry, everybody who loves music, I do too. But when I'm writing, I need my thoughts on the paper. I don't need other artists' ideas coming into my pen, I certainly don't need the television going in the background. I need my workspace with my journal, my keyboard, and type out my ideas. Yes.
It sounds like when you write, your only rule that you seem to follow is write everything down.
Do it. It's funny because if you come to my house, Nicole, I invite you and your girlfriends, we have a luncheon. Guess what? You're gonna get a party favor. And my party favors are gonna be empty notebooks. Take this notebook home after the party and jot your ideas down. So I often, my son is now married, and that's my little granddaughter that you saw. For their wedding, my party favors at their wedding were notebooks.
I would be so happy because I myself am a writer, so that would be perfect for me.
Yes.
I just have two more questions for you before we wrap this up. Where can readers find out more about you and your book?
Well, I am an author with Authors Press. Authors Press has 6 of my books. I have a great deal more books, some of them independently published by me. But Authors Press set me up a website, barbara10brinkbooks.com. So I have a website. It's so cute, and other books are featured on that website. And then, of course, the beautiful thing about having a publisher work with you is that they have far-reaching arms. And now Barnes & Noble, Amazon.com. I love to say, wherever you choose to buy books, you can find my books. If you know my name, or if you know the title of my book, you can find my books on Books A Million, Barnes & Noble. I mean, everybody now is carrying everybody's books. The beautiful thing is that Authors Press set me up my own website, which is really cute.
That's very cute. How do you feel about working with Authors Press?
They've done me a very good job. I have to say, here's something very important. When an author has an idea and this idea becomes a book, that's an amazing thing. It's like a gift. It's like a gift to the author. This is my treasure. I treasure this. It was a spark of an idea, was one photograph, and now it's a book. I treasure that. Well, here's what Authors Press has done for me, which I value. Authors Press listens to what I want. I want this book to be 8.5 by 11. I want it to be full color art. I want this rabbit to be in this position. I want this rabbit to be wearing blue. This rabbit is wearing green. I want the font this size. Well, Nicole, not all publishers listen. They have a lot more experience than I have. And so they might think that they have a better way to do it. But here's what I love about Authors Press. When I came to them 2 years ago, I said, my books have to be a certain size, a certain quality, and they went, you know what? They're your books. We will do what you ask us to do. And that's it. I appreciate that almost more than I can say.
We appreciate your business more than we can say, so I think the feeling is very, very mutual.
Oh, thank you. It's very fun. It's very fun.
All the
Great
questions that I have.
satisfaction.
That's all the questions that I
Well,
have for you today.
Thank you, Nicole. Thank you. Get your Christmas tree out. Get started
I will.
Christmas because it's not too early. We gotta support the bunnies.
Thank you for meeting with me today, Barbara.
Thank you, Nicole. You're a dear, and all your questions were right on. I appreciate the time. It's been so much fun. I hope everybody gets to enjoy Miss Claus and Her Bunnies. It's so sweet. Thank you so much, Nicole.
If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to contact us at Authors Press. You can call us at our phone number, 925-255-0098, or you can email me at Authors Press. Yeah, that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for meeting with me. It was an honor to be able to
Thank you so much. Thank you. We had fun. We had so much fun. I'm watching because I might see a bunny hop by in the corner of my eye because I know they're so busy. But you watch for them too, Nicole. And
I will.
we will
I
see
absolutely
you next time.
will.
We'll see you Christmas.
I know.
Thank
huh?
you, Nicole.
No problem. Have a wonderful day, Barbara.
Thank you.